What's up, guys? In this video, I want to talk about where should we resell our devices at? Should we sell on Facebook Marketplace? Should we sell them on eBay? Or should we sell to a direct buyer? For those of you who don't know, a direct buyer is something, it's essentially a person who buys in wholesale in bulk from overseas. Basically, they send you a spreadsheet and they tell you exactly what they'll pay you per phone. Um, Depending on which phone it is and the condition. Um, I've seen these spreadsheets. I know somebody who does sell through these wholesale direct buyers. I personally didn't go that route. Reason being is because the prices that they pay, they're not as high as what I can get for most devices. And also, I've seen situations where they will, take a phone and a phone that looks, it's almost perfect, but it has like a teeny little nick on it, and they'll, whenever you ship it out to them, they'll call it a grade B minus or whatever, a grade B, instead of a grade A, and stuff like that, and then they'll end up paying you less. I've seen this happen pretty common. So I particularly, maybe there's better buyers that I just don't know about that I haven't seen. But in my experience and my communications with people who have done the direct buyer method, and I discussed with them how I do the eBay method, I've had, I've had feedback where whenever they switch over to eBay, it's night and day difference for them as far as the their experience and how positive it is selling on eBay rather than selling to direct buyers. But that might not apply to you. Maybe a direct buyer is a better route for you. Like I said, I haven't dealt directly with them, so I can't really speak on it a whole lot. I can only speak from what I know about speaking with people who have dealt with these direct buyers. So this video is mainly going to be about Facebook or eBay. When you buy a iPhone or whatever it is, an iPad, MacBook, Apple Watch, should you resell it on Facebook Marketplace or should you resell it on eBay? There's some pros and some cons. I personally sell on eBay, and I'll discuss why. But let's talk about Facebook first. So, what are the good things about if you were to resell on Facebook Marketplace? Well, number one, you don't have to ship it out to anybody, right? You don't have to ship it. You don't have to deal with hoping that the mail arrives. That the post office doesn't lose a package. You don't have to pay any fees. So whatever the person gives you, I mean, that's that. There's no fees taken out of a direct person to person transaction. Whereas eBay obviously takes fees out. On Facebook Marketplace. Once you sell that device to that person, they see it in person, and and if they like it, they pay you for it, and that's that. If they get home and they realize they don't like it or there's something wrong with it that you didn't realize was wrong with it, it's just, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's not much recourse for them, unless you were going to stand behind your product and be like, hey, I'll help you out or whatever. So obviously there are some pros with selling on Facebook, but I want to speak about some of the cons, which are mainly the reasons that I sell on eBay. One of the cons is, first of all, when you post something on Facebook, you're getting tons of messages, tons of offers, tons of spam, tons of people who are trying to scam you, lots of people who are going to just ask questions about it and waste your time. And eventually, you'll find an actual buyer, but it really uses a lot of your time just speaking to all the different people who are interested or are trying to scam you or just hack your Gmail account with a Google verification code and all the different things that comes along with it. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason that I don't like to sell on Facebook Marketplace is because you have to go and drive and meet with these people. And whenever you're going to meet with these people, you have to hope that they like the device and are going to buy it. So, it's just it's a lot of added time and energy um, at the expense of, you could be using that time to go find more iPhones or devices that you can make more profit on, rather than talking to people or going to meet up with them to sell them something. So those are some pros and cons of the Facebook side. Now let's talk about the eBay side and why I personally love selling on eBay. Even though there are quite a few things that you have to be aware of when selling on eBay, it's easy to get scammed on eBay if you don't know enough about it. It's easy to make mistakes and lose money on eBay if you are not aware of their policies and the different scams that happen. So obviously that's a con. There is kind of a learning curve, or else you will get burned, almost definitely. I've been burned. I've almost been burned a few times. I was burned one time, but it was all a learning experience, and I still stand behind selling on eBay as being better than Facebook Marketplace in my experience. So, when selling on eBay, what are some cons? Well, you got to pay eBay fees. That's pretty obvious, right? You have to package the item and ship it. But I personally would say that it's easier to package and ship an item than it is to go and meet up with people, wherever you have to drive to and meet them, let them, sit there while they check out the item and hope that they like it enough to buy it. To me, that's a lot more than just, I have all the packaging supplies. It takes me all of maybe 2 to 3 minutes to package an iPhone and then drive down the street to the post office and ship it out. So, you could look at that as a con, I suppose, but I don't, because on the flip side, like I said, it's better than having to meet up with people and watch, sit with them while they go through the device and everything like that. Um, Another con is the fees, the shipping. You know, the with eBay, it's there are limits when you first get started, especially if you haven't been selling a lot. Um, your profile is typically limited to, like, when you first start, I think it's maybe like $1,000 per month, but you can easily get increases, especially if you know how to talk to eBay, and you can get increases that you're not technically supposed to be getting yet. Like, you're only supposed to be getting a one increase every 30 days, but I know a way to get around that and get a lot of increases. So that's not really been an issue with me, but for somebody who doesn't know these things and for somebody who's starting out, it can be an issue. And obviously, what worked for me may not work for somebody else. It's worked for me consistently, so I would assume it's transferable and it would work for anybody, but I can't know that for sure. So eBay limits, eBay fees, shipping, potentially being scammed. Those are all things that I would consider as cons. But in my experience, even with the eBay fees, I'm able to sell for more or equal to um, the amount that I would be able to sell them on Facebook Marketplace. So even after paying for the eBay fees, which means that I can sell these devices for more money than what I can sell the devices for locally on Facebook Marketplace. And then after eBay fees, it ends up being about the same. But I don't have to deal with the spammers and the scammers and the people who are wasting my time. I don't have to deal with any of that, and it's just it's a lot smoother, and also the sales happen so much quicker in my experience. If I post something on Facebook Marketplace, because I've experimented quite a lot. I've gone back over the past few months and I'll post some things on Facebook Marketplace and post some things on eBay, until the point to where I've just completely stopped posting on Facebook Marketplace altogether, because it's just not worth my time anymore. Things just sell so quicker, and the process is so much smoother to sell things on eBay. The prices are better, and it's worth my time and energy and my understanding of how eBay works and their policies and how the scams work. It's worth it to understand these things so that I can utilize eBay as my way of selling. Whereas obviously locally is where I'm acquiring the items. I prefer to sell them on eBay. And it's also extremely simple to understand why um, it's quicker to sell on eBay than it is to sell locally. Especially it depends on what kind of city you live in and what cities are surrounding you. But let's just say, maybe within an hour drive of you, there's, a million people, maybe more or less depending where you live. But so if you list something on Facebook Marketplace, then maybe up to somewhere around 100,000 to maximum a couple million people will see it and potentially buy it. Whereas if you list it on eBay, you have the whole world, which is now your buyers. The whole world is looking at your devices. So if you can know what price something will sell at instantaneously, then whenever you go, let's just say you buy an iPhone 12 for, let's say you've already seen that the lowest price current iPhone 12 on eBay is $350. And you know you'll end up paying about $40 in fees and shipping. So if you undercut them, let's say that the lowest price one is 350, and you're gonna if you list one for 340, it's gonna be gone basically instantly because you're gonna be the lowest price one on eBay, and the whole world which is on eBay, which has their eyes on it. So if you know that you can list something at 340, an iPhone 12, let's say, and your net would be 300 because you'd pay about $40 of with fees and like a couple of dollars for shipping. Then if you see an iPhone 12 that's local, you can just go pick it up, and you know instantly that when you get home, you can list it, put it on eBay for $340, and it'll sell within a few hours at the most, and you've just locked in $100 profit just like that. You don't have to go. You don't have to talk to different people on Messenger. You don't have to go meet up with anybody. You just get home, you take a couple photos of it, you list it, and it's done. You just got to pack it up and ship it, and that's it. And so that's why I personally love eBay. That's why I use eBay as my outlet to flip my items. Um, I've listed out a lot of the different pros and cons. I feel like for both sides, I think I've made it, pretty clear. But another con for eBay obviously is, especially when you first start, you have to wait until the item is delivered for your funds to become available. Whereas once you've had a couple sales under your belt, they'll make it to where, like with my account, for example, if somebody buys something today, then the money will be in my account, in 2 business days. I believe I can do instantaneous withdrawal within, I think, a day, but it costs like 1% fee, so I don't do that. I just wait. But so that's, I guess, technically another downside of eBay is you do have to wait, especially if you're newer. They're going to make you wait until the item is delivered to access your money. But with a if you're looking more long term and you're looking at the bigger picture, in my opinion, eBay is the much more efficient route to go. But like I said, there is a lot more different things that you have to know about eBay. A lot of different things you have to understand before you can, be proficient at it and not end up getting scammed or losing money in one way or another. And another con with eBay that I forgot to mention is also, obviously, if you ship something to somebody, and let's say you didn't realize that, the camera had a like a maybe the camera has an issue, or the speaker, or the sim doesn't activate for some weird reason that you didn't even know before. Just different stuff like that. Um, Even if you don't accept returns, like my account does not accept returns, if the item isn't as described, then you are, by eBay's policy, you're forced to accept the return. And obviously, I would hope that if you sent somebody something and it turns out that there is something wrong with that you would genuinely want to accept that return and give them their money back for that. So that is something that comes up every now and again. Whereas with Facebook Marketplace, it's like you don't have to accept returns. And if there's some issue with the thing, I mean, you gave them a chance to look at the product, and they looked at it, they approved it, they gave you cash, and after that's pretty much that at that point. Um, so I believe that that's pretty clear cut. I think that I laid out the pros and the cons pretty well, and the reasons why I love to sell on eBay personally. Um, so yeah, I hope that that's insightful for you guys. For any of you that are looking to get into phone flipping, I'm looking to provide as much insight and help and inspiration. Like I said in previous videos, this has completely changed my life. It's insane that if I want to go out today and make at least a couple $100, I can just go do that. I mean, there's not a single day that I if I there's not a single day that I decide that I want to make a little money that I can't make a few $100. And a few $100 to me is like it's an all right day. A good day is around $1,000 for me. So far, I've had one that what I would call an amazing day, which was $5,000 profit. There's another video on that. Um, but yeah, so this is just kind of, this is one of the pillars of phone flipping is, okay, if I get the phone at a good price, what do I do with it? Where do I go with it? So this is my video. If you're kind of deciding, like, you're trying to figure out where am I going to sell my devices once I have them, I hope that this kind of outlines a pretty clear cut picture of why you might want to choose one or the other. So again, my name is Jared, and thank you for watching this video. Until next time, thank you.